Well, we all kind of understand just how life sort of has a way of kind of making things a little bit difficult every now and again, especially if maybe you've never experienced some of these things before. You can feel a little bit lost. Well, that is why we are so happy to be introducing a brand new program here on Wood TV Plus. It is called Life in Progress, answering and getting some behind the scenes information on just a bunch of different topics regarding how you go about whether you're hosting a holiday party, which is what we're going to be talking about in this first episode, or whether you're trying to save up to maybe buy a house or have that dream wedding. We're going to cover it all right here on Life in Progress. And our host today with Life in Progress is, of course, Charlesy Dewey. Charlesy, thank you so much for stopping by today.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here, and I'm very excited to be starting this show.
Yeah, no, and let's explain a little bit further behind the show. You are the person who's kind of spearheaded this project, and we're just so excited to finally be bringing it to people. I mean, to explain what Life in Progress really is all about.
Yeah, so, I mean, life is hard. I don't, you want to find the joy in life, and so I thought it would be fun to have a weekly conversation where we just tackle different topics. Some of them will be fun, some of them will be more educational, some of them might be hard. Like, I want to do something on grief. I want to do something just all sorts of different topics that people encounter throughout their lives. And I was thinking, I'm in sort of that middle in my 40s, so I've got things from my 20s that I would love to revisit and talk about and share my knowledge about, things from my 30s, things I'm facing now, and things that I expect to face in the decades to come.
Right.
And so I just think it would be great to have guests on who can talk with us and have discussions about all these different topics, from again, personal finances, even raising kids. I don't have kids, but I know a lot of people out there are in the thick of it. So some of that, getting into your first house, just all sorts of topics that we face, even getting like your first pet.
Yes.
Yeah.
Always. And again, like I kind of touched on earlier, I mean, these are things that on paper, you've seen other people do them. It might seem really easy to maybe go out and find that new furry friend to add to your family, or make a doctor's appointment, for instance. Just these things that maybe you haven't had the chance to do yet because you've been growing up. Maybe you had your parents or somebody else kind of doing it, but now you want to take hold of it on your own and actually start doing it. I mean, that is kind of the why behind this, right? I mean, just kind of giving people, again, some just added information or some additional expertise. Maybe they don't have somebody to be over their shoulder saying, this is what you should be doing. This is kind of what this is trying to do.
Yeah. And I mean, again, being in my 40s, you would think I would feel all the time that I'm an adult, but there are some days that I'm like, gosh, I don't feel like an adult at all trying to deal with this thing that's happening to me. So it is just kind of reminding us that we're all just doing the best that we can day after day, and we all have different challenges at different levels. And again, it's not all about challenges. Some of it's about a lot of really fun things that happen and going through life. And so I just hope we can bring a sort of show that just looks at kind of day-to-day life and how we deal with things.
And this first episode, I mean, we could not have picked a better guest or a better topic for this very first episode. Charlesy, what's in store for this first episode of Life in Progress?
Yeah, so I wanted to do a show on hosting for the holidays because I have not hosted a Thanksgiving or a Christmas yet. I've been intimidated to do that, and so I thought, let's bring on Chef Jenna from Amore. Who better to talk about hosting than her? And so we invited her on to kind of give us tips about how to plan your meal, what to have, how to deal with like friends and family, and just kind of all of that. And so she was our first guest, and you're going to hear from her in a minute, and just very fun person to talk with.
Yeah, no, perfect first guest, and we couldn't be more excited to show you everybody the first episode of Life in Progress. So why don't we go ahead and send it over to Past Phil and Past Charlesy with Chef Jenna now.
Today we are exploring the topic of hosting for the holidays, and we have a wonderful guest here to help us talk about what we should be doing to have a successful hosting gig. So we've got Chef Jenna. I'm not going to say her last name because I butchered it 3 times trying, so I really apologize. Okay. And I took Italian in high school, so I should be able to pronounce it, which is what makes it really embarrassing.
Well, that's cool that you took Italian because it's not in any school really anymore.
Yeah.
But also I just tell people it's archdeacon and make it sound Italian. So it's Arcidiacono. I know, it's hard to say. No one ever says it right.
Yeah, but we appreciate you being here. You're our first guest for our very first episode of Life in Progress. Everyone knows Chef Jenna, I think, in the community. She owns the very awesome restaurant Amore. She runs the nonprofit Food Hugs, and she is a chef. So do you want to talk a little bit about Food Hugs? I know that's one of your passion projects.
Yes. So Food Hugs is my nonprofit. I started during COVID, and it just has blossomed into so many other things, but mostly it's bringing people acts of kindness, random acts of kindness with food. And we can talk about that later if you want, but we are just trying to bring joy with a homemade meal. And if you think about it, what is better than someone cooking a meal for you, surprising you with it, and you not having to cook?
Exactly. Well, and that's the topic today, I think, is hosting for the holidays. I have actually never hosted a Thanksgiving or a Christmas meal. My parents still actually handle that.
Yeah, right.
Because my dad's a real big foodie, so he really enjoys it. And Phil, have you...
No, I've never. I've kind of gotten the luxury of having my meals kind of prepared for me, but then also these past couple of years, I've ended up having to work on Thanksgivings in particular. So again, kind of a little bit different. I know everybody kind of always gets excited about the Halloween festivities. The Thanksgiving festivities. My Thanksgiving has looked a little bit different. I'm mostly picking up Chinese food because that's about the only place open on it. But again, I hear all the time from people, whether it's hosting a Friendsgiving or maybe some of the other holidays. Some of my friends are starting to do it for the first time too, and they're like, I don't even know where to start. What do people even eat during some of these meals as well? That's usually some of the first questions I hear about. So again, I feel like there's a lot of ways you could kind of go about making these meals, but it's kind of nice to hear from a professional like Chef Jenna.
Yeah. So I wanted to start by asking you, Jenna, if you remember the first time you ever hosted like a Thanksgiving for your friends or your family, and what you maybe remember about it.
Yeah, actually, I feel like it was like 10 years ago. We started something called Dranksgiving.
Okay, nice.
And we hosted it at my house, and it was more of just a group of friends that maybe had nowhere to go for Thanksgiving. So we had the misfit toys at our house for the whole day, and everyone brought a dish, which makes it easier. So when you're hosting, it's okay to say, hey, why don't you bring this and you bring this? And then that's not so much weight on one person to make the whole meal.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And then once you figure out what everyone else is making, you make the rest, which is a really cool idea. And also, it is a really awesome thing to include people that maybe don't have anywhere to go for Thanksgiving. To bring them into your home for a meal is pretty special. But I love hosting people, but that's just because I love to cook. And that's not everyone's jam, right? So for someone who doesn't like to cook, have them bring a bottle of wine or something that they don't have to cook. But then I'm in a group of people who love food, and so we all are like trying to one up each other on a new cool like thing to bring to Thanksgiving. That's like maybe just like a twist on a regular version of whatever everyone else is usually making. So like if we're doing a green bean casserole, like I did fresh green beans instead of canned, and then I made a black truffle sauce instead of mushroom, the cream of mushroom goopy soupy.
Yes.
So we always try to, and then we fried our own onions and everything. Like we like literally are next level, and you don't have to be that, of course. But if you do have a group of friends that are next level and love to cook, it's really fun to like riff on some of the things that everyone has. But at my house, my daughter comes home the day before and she makes all the pies, and that's our tradition. She makes 2 pumpkin pies, 2 pecan pies, and 2 apple pies.
Nice.
And there's literally only like 8 of us at dinner.
You can never have too much pie, though.
How many people do you host?
It's like literally 8 of us.
Everyone gets their own pie.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
And well, what happens at the end of the meal is we divide it up, and like I send some of it home with my dad, and then Joya takes some home with her, so it does get divided up and eaten, but it's just really sweet that she comes home to do that. And that takes, the pie off of my plate. And then my dad and his wife come and they bring something. And so I do encourage that. But I also love to do all the things. I'm just really organized about it because of timing. So I always tell people, start the day before and make a lot of the stuff, like the casseroles you can make the day before and then pop them in the oven that morning.
Yeah, that was one of the questions I had. Like for me, I'm always the most, I think that's one of the hurdles for me to host Thanksgiving. Besides the fact that my dad loves to do it, it's also like, oh my gosh, overwhelming, because how do you make sure everything is ready within the same time frame so nothing's cold? So casseroles are a great thing to make the day before. What else are there other things you can prep the day before?
Well, a lot of people brine their turkeys, and you're going to want to do that the day before. We almost have everything ready the day before.
Okay.
Though, and I'm going to make people angry with this. We do not love turkey, and I'm a vegetarian, so I make chicken instead because I think turkey can get really dry. People, I feel like that's kind of sacrilege or whatever, but we do chicken instead.
You're actually preaching to the choir.
Okay.
I'm not a big turkey person.
Yeah.
Phil, do you?
I like turkey, but I hear all of the same kind of negatives about it too. It does get kind of dry. If you're trying to maybe go a little bit experimental with frying it, you got to make sure you're doing it the right way because, again, you don't want to have any mishaps. But a lot of people in my family have kind of moved towards like the brisket or like barbecue smoked kind of thing. So a little bit different. So again, I feel like that is just kind of where we're going as a society a little bit, kind of moving away from turkey.
And I don't think that's a bad thing. I think, we're evolving with our flavor profiles that we prefer. But I want so many more mashed potatoes than everyone else. That's my whole plate, and gravy. And I want stuffing. Stuffing is my favorite thing. And my mom's recipe went down to me, and I've tweaked it a little bit, and I just want to eat stuffing for the whole month of November.
Right.
Yeah, I like the stuffing as well. I'm big mashed potatoes, big stuffing. I love just like the olives on the table.
Yeah.
I can't stop eating those. That's one thing in our family. Everybody wants the olives, so you're constantly get those olives closer to me.
Right. Bring more olives this year.
What about sweet potatoes? I didn't hear anybody mention sweet potatoes.
My daughter's favorite is the really sweet potatoes with marshmallows on top.
Yes, I need it to be like dessert before dessert a little bit.
It is. It's absolutely, it's like sweet potato pie, but you're eating it with your salty food. So that's the combo, right? The sweet and salty combo, which makes everything so good.
That's so good.
Yeah. I'm so hungry now.
Yeah, I know.
I know, right?
When is Thanksgiving again? How many more weeks do we have?
Soon.
Yeah.
That's a good question. When you're if you are hosting and planning the menu, what are some of the key menu items you should have, and how do you think about that balancing sweet and savory and salty and whatever?
So I feel like the regular menu would be turkey, potatoes, green bean casserole, yams, cranberry sauce. We make our own cranberry sauce, which is so fun.
Yeah.
If you've ever made cranberry sauce, it's like cranberries are coming to the party. They start popping, and you're like, I don't know. There's something satisfying about that.
Yeah.
So my Jada usually makes that because she likes that process, and my husband eats that for dessert because he loves the cranberry, and it's like mandarin oranges and cranberry, and he thinks that's the dessert.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm like, we have 18 pies.
Right.
Don't fill up on cranberry sauce right now.
Stuffing, of course, and I feel like those are the basic ones, and then people branch out. I know my aunt used to make a strawberry and pretzel cream cheese thing. Do you remember that?
I've never heard of this.
It's like a pretzel crust, and then it's like what it would be for like a cheesecake, and then on top it's strawberries.
Interesting.
It's so good.
That does sound pretty good.
It is really good. But I feel like every family has their special tradition, which I love. And I think if you can do that and start a family tradition, even if it's a new dish adding to the regular old school things, then it starts to be something you look forward to. And there's nothing better than a tradition where you're getting together with your family and eating, and sometimes you maybe haven't seen them for a while. And it's just, to me, it's all about sitting around a table, telling stories, enjoying food together. And, for me, there's nothing more important than that. We tend not to spend enough time with the people we love because we're all so busy. So taking that time out is so important. So don't work this year.
Yeah, right.
Poor Phil.
Yeah, poor me, right?
Phil, do you have to work this year?
I do have to work this Thanksgiving, but somebody's got to hold down the fort while everybody else is having fun,
That's
right?
true.
Chef Jenna, I had a question for you though, because
Sure.
again, I've Friendsgiving is more so kind of what I end up falling into. You know,
Yeah.
getting with a bunch of other my friends who are around my same age. You know, we're all kind of gathering at somebody's apartment. We maybe don't have all the access to use all of these high-end equipments. You know, maybe we have an oven or maybe just one stovetop flamer to really kind of get everything made. So again, for people that maybe want to maybe go a step above and try to maybe try out some of these more fun dishes or some of these new dishes. I mean, is there a way that maybe you could think of, or any tips to really maybe get that done a little bit easier, with just trying to manage everything going on in maybe a smaller setting?
Yeah, the one thing I always remind people is Google it. Like you
That's a
can
pretty
literally
good tip,
get
yeah.
online and get any recipe you want.
Yeah.
And I feel like most people can put the simplest of recipes together. And I'm one of those people, if I'm looking up a recipe, I look for the 5.0 ratings because I want the best recipe. And there's no shame in Googling a recipe and getting on there and saying, I think I'll just go to the store, get the ingredients. And like I said, if you're doing that with friends, everyone should be bringing a dish. It shouldn't be one person that has to do it all. So, like I said, also, there's some people that don't like to cook. Yeah. Give them another project. Maybe they can set the table. Maybe they can bring special napkins. Maybe they can, bring a silly kind of glassware. I don't know, but it shouldn't be all on one person ever.
Right.
And I think that's what used to happen back in the day. And so moms would be like stressed out, like, don't bother me, come peel potatoes or whatever. Right. But it shouldn't be all on one person. I think divide and conquer is so important for a big meal like that. And I think it's only fair, especially in this economy.
Yeah.
Right, absolutely. Well, and kind of on the flip side, I'm sure you've never gotten this question before, but if you maybe are having a conversation or a party like this, I guess, with your family and some extended family members, and they make something, everybody's making a different thing. Everybody's kind of maybe got a dish that they've picked out, but somebody makes something that is not very good. How do you go about having that conversation with somebody, or do you ignore? I mean, do you just maybe put the napkin over it, kind of shove it down in the trash? I mean, that's my biggest worry is when dealing with something like that.
That's really hard. It reminds me of the rap song where they're like, whatever, it tastes like wood, and like it's going on and
Yes,
on.
yeah.
And I'm like, it's rapper's delight, that's what it is. And I'm like, ooh, that's hard. Like you just have to I mean, I feel like people will talk about it in the long run, but I think the day of you just kind of like mush it around on your plate.
Thanks for bringing this and kind of leave it at that, right?
Yeah, we appreciate your effort.
Yeah, right.
But that is hard. Like when you're like, somebody thought it was salt and it was sugar, or somebody thought it was sugar and it was salt, and so
It's so hectic around Thanksgiving. There's bound to be some mistakes, but sometimes, they end up making it all the way to Thanksgiving.
yeah, and sometimes you burn stuff, right?
Right.
So you just have to be like, ooh, things happen and move forward. But I'm
Right.
sure I feel like you should have a whole podcast about people calling in with stories like that.
Yeah, that
would be
great.
hilarious.
Yeah.
Like my aunt made this and nobody could even stomach it or whatever. But I think that would be a hilarious podcast for like holiday mishaps.
Well, and everybody's got one, I feel like. Even if it wasn't, the whole house burned down from trying to fry a turkey or something like that. I feel like everybody does have that moment when they were like, oh, do you remember when Grandma made that pie 2 years ago?
Yeah.
Do you remember Aunt Cindy's salad the other week?
Yeah.
Like, I feel like everybody's kind of got something like that.
Yeah, someone comes with the ambrosia salad. You're like,
Right.
no, thank you.
Yeah.
I was at a Thanksgiving that I was just a guest. I wasn't staying for the meal, and they actually went to take the turkey out of the oven, and it slid off the platter onto the floor.
Oh no!
Oh my gosh.
Yes. And I was glad I wasn't eating over there because they picked
just
it
picked
up
it up.
and put it back on.
Oh my gosh.
I think it was all their family. But I was like, oh my gosh, it slid right off.
It was
wow.
a slippery little.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh my gosh! And you were like, I'll see see you guys later.
Yeah,
Have a
Right.
good
like, I'm
night.
glad I'm going to a different place for the
Well, seeing it
turkey.
slide out is one thing, and then you're like, all right, and then you just put it right back on the pan is a completely different story.
Yeah, that is not a 5-second
Right.
rule kind of thing.
No,
for-
don't eat the bottom of the bird.
No, no, just the top. Oh Lord, that's funny. See, you already had a story.
Right.
Yeah. That's why I was like, yeah, I think everybody's been to a Thanksgiving where something went horribly wrong.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, it's bound to happen.
Yeah.
So you just make the most of it, and then you have a good story later.
Yeah, you can eat, and thankfully there's so much food to choose
Right.
from. So if something does
You can
burn,
always skip over
Yeah.
that item.
Yeah.
Skip right over it. But I think then you get better at it over the years,
Yeah.
right? And you narrow it down to what everyone loves, and whatever's gone at the end of the meal, you're like, okay, we're doing that one
Yeah.
again.
Yeah. What about too, like introducing something new? So my family was so traditional for so many years. It was always the same exact food items. And one year I said, I don't want the green bean casserole. I want like Brussels sprouts or something. And Brussels sprouts were very big for a while back.
Yeah, they
you
were.
know, like a decade ago.
They were a hit.
And yeah, but getting my mom on board to let me do Brussels sprouts for the Thanksgiving meal was such. Have you ever encountered anyone that's so traditional that they
Oh,
have
yeah.
a hard time
Oh,
getting
yeah.
them to?
They're like, you can't make it like that. That's not how we make it. But also, like, who cares?
Yeah.
It's just an extra
It's
dish.
just an extra thing to have. Yeah.
Just bring it. Like, you should, if it's food, you should be open to trying new things. And I mean, what's better than like fried Brussels sprouts or like roasted vegetables or, you know, I feel like that's the one thing that we don't eat a lot of
Right.
on those days. I mean, the green bean casserole, but come on, if they're out of a can, they have no nutritional value at all.
But I mean, no shade against the green bean casserole.
No.
I'll still
Yeah.
eat that on my plate. But yeah, I like to have some roasted vegetables or to change it up I like to have at least one thing that's not the same every single year. I think that's for me is a big thing where I feel like I get bored with the traditional Thanksgiving food.
Okay, well, I don't get bored because I look forward to it every single
Every
year.
year.
It's not like we're eating all of those things
True.
all
Right.
year round. So when it hits, I'm like, I want all of these things.
Yeah.
But I don't think there's anything wrong with adding something new. My friend brought a kale salad with
Nice.
roasted, I think it was butternut squash, and then it had pumpkin seeds and cranberries. It was so good. It
I
felt
want that.
very
I
fall.
want that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think new things are fun to try.
Yeah.
As in life, like you try new things. You should be
Right.
trying new things.
Open your mind.
Open your mind to trying
your
new
stomach.
things. Yes.
Is there a recipe though that maybe you think people should maybe start incorporating a little bit more into Thanksgiving? Maybe it's not a traditional Thanksgiving food, but maybe it's something that you've kind of grown accustomed to or think would just kind of put the cherry on the top for everything you're going to be eating during Thanksgiving.
You know what? I'm totally cool with the traditional menu.
Yeah.
I think there's like I literally have a Thanksgiving dress that I wear that has all of
Nice.
the items on it.
Oh, perfect.
It's perfect.
In
It's
case
so
you forget
fun.
what you need to
And
make
I'm
next.
like, oh, I remember I have
Yeah.
to make that. But no, it's just like there's nothing wrong with that tradition too.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah.
but if someone outside coming in wants to bring one of their recipes, I want to learn.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm
Yeah.
always learning. I don't ever think I know everything. So to learn a new recipe or an idea, I love that.
Yeah.
But that's just me. Some people are just very traditional. Like, no.
Right.
Right. Well, I also was wondering, like, there's a lot more people with dietary restrictions now than I think ever before. So how do you make sure to accommodate and have, like, gluten-free and different allergen-free items? So, like, everybody that does show up, especially, like, at a Friendsgiving, everybody does have something that they can eat and enjoy and not feel like, oh, I only could eat the potatoes.
That's a great. Yeah, that's great because I think if you are hosting, you should really know people's allergies beforehand.
Right.
Because, like you said, you don't want them to sit there and watch you guys eat everything and they have like a crumb on their plate. So.
They can eat the rolls or something
Yeah.
like that. Yeah.
And I'm really big on it because, like at Amore, we have a full gluten-free menu, we have a vegan menu. We can do dairy-free, we can do all of these things because we feel that way. We feel like it's important for everyone that walks into the restaurant to be able to have a full, beautiful meal just like anybody else.
Mm-hmm.
So it is important to ask, and some people don't think about it, and then they feel bad afterwards. So
Yeah.
that's a great point. Please ask your guests, hey, does anyone have allergies? we'd love to incorporate something. Or sometimes they'll bring what they can eat too, but you don't want them to have to only eat the small amount of things they bring. So if you can think ahead and be kind and gracious as a host, I think that's a really, really good point and a really good idea to ask.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, no, and the potlucking idea, or everybody bringing something, is probably also a really great way to kind of not spend a ton of money during the holidays,
Right.
you know, especially with Thanksgiving. The cost of providing all the different kinds of foods and everything like that it keeps going up. And with everybody dealing with all the SNAP benefit cuts and the different issues kind of surrounding with the government shutdown right now, that is kind of on everybody's mind. I mean, any other tips besides maybe having people bring in certain dishes to kind of make the holiday season a little bit more affordable when you're cooking?
Absolutely. I mean, right now, even at Amore, I started a little food pantry in the front hallway, and people are starting to bring in Thanksgiving items. So they can pick up those at the food pantry for free. So that'll take it off their plate. At Daily Deals has really good deals on things like that. I'm all for any of the grocery outlets. I think they're really, really good. And I think it's important to say, you know, not a lot of people can even afford to have a Thanksgiving meal. And I know there's a lot of places offering those probably on Thanksgiving. So maybe if you can put that in a link somewhere, I'm sure we can find who is offering free meals. I know there's a lot of people that want to help. But you know, all in all, most of the Thanksgiving foods aren't super expensive. There's nothing really that I can think of that is gastronomically high priced. Like most of the items were peasant food already in the beginning.
Right.
But I think you can do it on a budget pretty easily. And you know, stuffing is just day old bread, and that's pretty cheap. You can do it on a budget. And I know there's a girl that does meals from the Dollar Tree. I think and she does really amazing food, and she's a famous TikToker because of it now.
Wow.
So it's kind of cool to look her up and see. She goes to the Dollar Tree or Dollar General or one of them, and she makes meals out of what they have on their shelves. But I think it is important to maybe find a neighbor or a friend, or if you know anyone that's struggling and you have leftovers, drop them off. I'm sure that would. I had a friend who had a surgery on Thanksgiving, so I just put a whole plate together and we dropped it off at her house, and she felt loved because she knew she wasn't going to have time or be able to go anywhere. And so, you know, I think also thinking about others at this time when everyone is having family time, you know, sometimes there are widows or just people that are new to town. Think about them and invite them over if you can, or bring them, if they're homebound, bring them a meal. I mean, almost all of us have leftovers at Thanksgiving.
Right. I would like to, since we were talking about that, I did look up online, and according to Forbes.com, last week they published an article that said that a Thanksgiving dinner for 10 people, which includes like all the staples we talked about, comes to about $80 for store brand products and $95 for name brand products. And I also have seen like Walmart and Target and Aldi have all released information about how products that they have available and that can cost as little as $4 per person or $5 per person. So if anyone is looking to budget, you can go on their website, I'm sure, and find where they have their sort of holiday meal plan and the prices and try to budget your meal.
That's amazing. That's like $10 a person.
Yeah.
What's better than that? That's really good.
Really good, yeah.
Yeah. So like I said, I feel like those items aren't an expensive item.
Yeah.
So that's kind of an awesome feeling to know, hey, this won't cost me as much as I think it
As I would
will.
expect, yeah. I think definitely figuring out your budget ahead of time and maybe looking for these deals and then going and shopping them is a good way to do it. And especially if you are hosting for the first time, it might make it really simple for you, I would think. Yeah. So
I also have this in the back of my mind too, which probably may make people a little worried. There's certain people's houses maybe you don't want to eat the food from them. Like they're washing their chicken in the sink, you know what I mean? Like I think it's like a meme, and it just says you can't eat food from everybody's house. It's actually a song, and it's like really, really funny. But you know, there are some people that are very It's an Italian word, schizzinoso. It's like they're grossed out by eating food from other people's houses
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
they don't know how clean their houses or the kitchens are.
Yeah.
Sorry, I had to add that in. But
Yeah, no, I get that. Yeah, I'm sure there's a few people whose houses I wouldn't be eager to eat a meal at. Sadly.
Maybe just stick to
sorry,
the
I
things
added
that you
in.
brought
Yeah.
to the party.
yeah, it's just another level of how Thanksgiving can go.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, kind of moving out of the hosting part and just into sort of fun Thanksgiving stuff, I was wondering, like, does your family have specific Thanksgiving traditions, like watching the parade or football or any of that stuff that you guys do?
So I grew up watching the Macy's parade while my mom was cooking, and then now one of my daughters actually got to be in the Macy's parade
Wow.
from Rockford. She was a freshman, and we all went, and that was the first Thanksgiving we weren't really at home. We had pizza for Thanksgiving because we were in New York.
Yeah.
But I think that was just like a full circle moment for me to be able to like say I watched it growing up, and then my daughter was in it.
Yeah,
and
that's so
I could
cool.
not find her because they all dressed the same and all
Right.
going by so fast. I'm like, and it was freezing. Like it was
Yeah.
one of the coldest Macy's parades, and I'm like holding my phone, trying to record, and just sobbing because I'm so proud. And every time it comes through, like every Thanksgiving, I post it. Like it's like a
Nice.
1-minute video of them playing, their whole little thing they did. And once in a while, she will tell me kind of like how their day went. They had to get up at 2 a.m. They had to do a practice round,
gosh.
and they had to play the same song over and over the whole parade.
Oh my
It was
gosh.
wild.
Wow.
Yeah, if you think about it, you're like, oh yeah, I guess they do.
Yeah.
But yes, Macy's parade was my childhood. I don't watch it anymore because I sleep in and then I just throw everything in the oven.
Yeah.
But it was definitely part of my childhood. I love it. It just feels like that's when Christmas starts
Yeah.
for me. And so I think just hanging out and eating is what we do, and that was our tradition. And like I said, for a couple years, it was the Friends Drinksgiving,
Yeah.
and that was really fun too. But I think any way you celebrate is going to be a good celebration.
Right. Phil, do you have any?
No, working, I guess, for the past
That's-
couple of years. That's
Wow.
been my tradition.
That's not a good tradition.
Yeah, but football, I grew up playing football. My whole family kind of grew up watching football. So that was always a big thing for us. No Thanksgiving movies, which, again, I can't think of one off the top of my head. Because it's usually, around Halloween, we'll all gather, watch a horror movie. Around Christmas, there's hundreds, if not thousands, of Christmas movies. Can't think of a Thanksgiving movie.
What about Planes, Trains, and Automobiles?
That is a good one.
I feel like that could
Yeah.
be in that.
it
But
has
you're
to be-
right.
I don't think it's reached tradition status at least in my household, not yet.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. We
But
got to
that is a
work on
good
that.
one. Yeah, right. Just start watching it year after year. Eventually, it'll pick up.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah, we don't do movies really on Thanksgiving, but I'm a big Macy's Thanksgiving parade watcher. Again, watched it growing up. And then like in my 20s, I was also, going to the bar on the night before. I
Oh, I
don't do
forgot
that
about
anymore.
that.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, now I don't do that anymore. But so now I get up and I watch the Thanksgiving Day parade. And I want to be one of those people that like goes outside on Thanksgiving and takes like a walk. But I did that a few years ago, and it was so cold that I ended up with windburn. on
Oh,
my
no.
Oh,
cheeks.
geez.
Yeah. So I don't think going outside in Michigan is the right tradition. But I would love to be one of those people that like goes on like a nature walk on
Right.
Thanksgiving.
What about
After
a
you eat all
turkey
the food.
trot?
Yeah.
What about a
Oh,
turkey
yeah,
trot?
I
Would
have
you
friends that do
be?
that.
I'm not
Not
a fan
me.
of. You could not pay
No.
me.
No, me neither.
No.
I'm sure it's great to like get the appetite going, but I'm already really hungry all the time, so I don't really need that little bit to it. But yeah, I mean,
feel like
those
that-
have become super popular.
Yeah, nah.
No.
No, thank you. But a nap is always
Yes.
on
yes.
board after the turkey that's supposed to make you tired. But all the food getting digested, you're like, I'll take a nap and
Sleep.
I think football in the background helps, like
Right.
Yeah.
little nappy time. But yeah, I forgot about the bar. Like that's the biggest bar night
know, yeah.
ever. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I definitely used to celebrate that way, but yeah, now I like to go to bed I just go to the bed at 11 o'clock, no matter what night of the year it is anymore. So
I thought that was later than I expected
yeah,
from you. So.
I know, right? What about when do you guys have your Thanksgiving dinners? I know some people are very much like it's an afternoon afternoon, early afternoon, mid-afternoon, and then some people are, it's an evening. It could be as late as like 8 o'clock at night. So what's your family like to do?
Well, I don't wake up early, so I like it to be at around 3 or 4 in the afternoon, because then I can slowly get up or get up early, put it in the oven, go back to sleep, and then get ready. Because when you're cooking and then you have to get ready, like. You're not going to cook in what you're going to wear for dinner. So then you have to have time to change and all that stuff into your Thanksgiving dress.
Yes.
Duh.
Yes, with all of your food items.
All the food
on it.
items. I should have worn it today. I don't know why I didn't think about that. Oh, I could have worn it twice in a year. But I think I look forward. I wouldn't. I'm sorry, I'm not a runner.
Yeah.
I have friends that do the turkey trot. I'm like, good for you.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Not getting up.
No. Sorry.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of what my family did for a really long time, was kind of that early afternoon-ish or, a little bit after lunchtime for Thanksgiving. But there were a couple of times, we were eating at like 11. Like my mom and everybody who was cooking kind of got the jump on it a little bit earlier. I mean, we were eating Thanksgiving dinner at like 11:30.
Like in the morning?
Yes.
Oh
That's
my
early.
gosh.
I know.
Well,
I was not
brunch.
complaining because
No.
I'm eating sweet potatoes for
Right,
breakfast,
right.
but
Well, we
yeah.
also like have second meal around 9
see, there
o'clock.
we go.
They're like, put
yeah.
that back out.
Yeah.
Let's heat that back up.
See, the earlier you eat, the more you get out of it a little
Exactly.
bit. Yeah.
You can have it twice in a day.
Second Thanksgiving.
Yeah. I love that idea.
Yeah.
Because we'll be like, we're never going to eat again. We're so full. And then like 4 hours later, my daughters are like, hey, let's reheat that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay.
Hey, you know
I'm
what
in.
sounds really good right now?
Right. Or the other thing is pumpkin pie. Have you ever seen the memes where it's like, how much whipped cream do you put on it? And it's like completely covered with whipped cream. You're like, are you eating whipped cream or are you eating pumpkin pie?
Right.
But yeah, a whipped cream is like, has to be like part of your pie situation.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. You have to have the whipped cream on there.
We make our homemade whipped cream. We don't use the little cans.
Oh, man.
Oh, really?
We like make vanilla bean whipped cream and we just like kind of scoop it into our mouths. Those are fun traditions too.
Yeah.
though.
Yeah, those are fun
yeah.
traditions. Yeah. I tried making the pumpkin pie for the first time last year, and it was way easier than
It's so
I
easy.
expected. Yeah, I had no idea. I probably would have started a lot sooner if I realized how much simpler it was than I thought it was going to be.
Both pecan and pumpkin are really easy.
Easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to go early and get your Caro corn syrup because the shelves are empty by the time you need it for
Yeah.
your pecan pie.
The same with the pumpkin.
pumpkin, yeah.
Stuff. The
Get it
cans
now.
Of pumpkin, yeah. I was gonna say to you, sometimes you want to get some of your ingredients, like I would assume, like earlier in the November, so that when you get to the week of, you're not, because otherwise you might end up not being able to get a key ingredient that you need.
Great plan.
Yeah.
Like go now if
Yeah,
you can.
get your stuff.
Before like the shelves are emptied. Yeah, that's a thing.
Yeah.
How early are you cooking? Maybe some of the items that don't need to be made day of. I mean, how early ahead of time are you kind of starting the cooking process? Maybe on some of the desserts.
Well, my daughter does that the night before, and they're ready for the day
Yeah.
of. And then as far as like some of the other items, I the night before I get it ready.
Really?
Yeah.
All the night before.
A lot of the night before,
Yeah.
because then it's so much easier on the
Easier
day
to do
of.
it.
A little bit
Yeah.
fresher too.
The only thing I
Yeah.
really do is roast the chicken and like turn the oven on and heat everything up.
Right. Call it a day.
It is though, like if you are the one doing all of them, you really have to time it out because most people only have 4 burners and 1 oven. So you really have to learn how to time everything. So it's kind of like a symphony, right? So
Yeah.
you have to like overlap and figure it out based on how long things take. And that's kind of one of the processes you really should think about now.
Yeah.
Right.
So like you want to peel your potatoes maybe the day before and then you can boil them and mash them on the day, because nobody wants to reheat mashed potatoes. They're okay, but they're better when they're like fresh. But like peel your potatoes ahead of time, make your casseroles ahead of time. So all you have to do is just throw them in the oven. All of those things are going to make your day easier,
Yeah.
I think.
Awesome. Well, Jenna, thank you so much for being here and talking with us about hosting for the holidays. I
Absolutely.
feel like I did get some good ideas out of this, and that I can put into practice maybe next year.
Yeah.
Not quite this year.
You got to help your mom out.
I know.
Bring those Brussels sprouts.
It's
Right.
not my mom, it's my dad.
Oh, your
So,
dad.
yes.
Help your dad out.
Yeah.
We love a kitchen king.
Yes. So, but before you go, how can folks find you, support you, and is there anything that you're working on right now that you want to promote or make sure people are aware of?
Sure. So you can find me for the restaurant at Amore Trattoria Italiana on Alpine, 5080 Alpine Avenue Northwest. We're right before or after 6 Mile, depending on which direction you're coming. And for Food Hugs, we are working on our big annual fundraiser, and that's our only big fundraiser we do. And it's on January 10th, and it's called a pink party for Food Hugs, and it's always a theme. And next year's January, is heroes and villains. So you can dress up as your favorite hero or your favorite villain of all time. We have a costume contest, but it's just a party. We dance. Brenna will be there playing songs with bad and good in them. There's a lot of songs with those words in them. And we have live and silent auctions, but it's mostly just a good time. It's not a sit-down event. It's a party.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
That
so
sounds
that's
like
on
a great
Eventbrite.
time.
Yeah,
Yes.
just look up the Pink Party, Food Hugs. Type that in; it should come right up on Eventbrite. And you can follow Food Hugs on socials. So it's Food Hugs by Jenna on Instagram. It's Food Hugs on Facebook. Amore is on both Instagram, and then you can follow me because I have fun stuff going on most of the time.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much.
Yes,
Thanks for
thank you,
having
Chef
me.
Jenna.
This was awesome.
Of course.
We hope you enjoyed this first episode of Life in Progress, hosting for the holidays.
Yeah, we'll be back again with our next episode sometime after Thanksgiving and kind of giving you some additional tips on how to budget for the holidays.